So, Henry, your role with Kibo currently, for those who don't know on this Zoom call, could you fill us in?
You know, um, so as the country director for Kibo in Uganda, I always use the word I'm tagging along my people that work with you, people that serve you. I just tag along to make sure that what we say we're going to do is what's taking place in the communities. So, in short, I make sure that what Kibo is saying in America, what we're saying in our website, what we're saying we are committed to the government of Uganda. I make sure that our staff follow those rules and policies and literally love the community and just partner with them and make sure we do that and just opening my eyes and checking to see what ways can we serve them better. I ask a lot of questions to my staff,
Mm.
but I go around with them, visit with them the communities, and just making sure that. And also, as part of that is I'm responsible for a lot of monies that a lot of people here help us to come here and help the Ugandan communities, the eastern region of this country. I got to make sure that money is spent well and goes where we say it goes.
Could you give us a brief update on how COVID affected our work in Uganda?
COVID hit this country so hard, and in the beginning, as everybody know, we nobody knew what COVID was all about. Nobody even knew how it was going to be contained. And so the president of Uganda just shut everything down. We couldn't drive. Nobody could move from one town to the next town. We had to be home by 7 p.m. And so that goes all the way to our villages where we work. We couldn't go to those villages, but our staff did a very good job. We kept communicating with these villages and seeing. So each staff that were working on different communities, we kept calling and just making sure that, hey, if you have any question, you guys are still working on your latrines, your stoves, and still meeting in small groups. Because the government contained the villages, they could do things on their own. They wouldn't allow anybody to go into those communities from town. But the community was so open to us. They still allow us to make calls and chat with them over the phone, walk through that. In fact, some of the villagers even call us to thank us for teaching about washing hands,
Mm.
which took off so much during COVID. They were like, it's as if Kibo knew that COVID was coming. You
Mm.
help us help our hand washing facilities ready just before COVID. And so for the hand washing facility, picked up so much.
Mm.
And so there are a lot of questions coming to us and our wash team, just how can we get better at this? And they were thankful. But we didn't know as just part of our program, part of our process for that program, part of what we teach. And so this just came so much in handy. So as much as COVID affected so many businesses in Uganda, families moving up and up, people losing their jobs. A lot of Kibo guys just surrounded their neighbors and with food that they were getting from Kibo, with little money they had that they could share with their people. With our drivers, with the boat guys, and all these people. So a lot changes in Uganda, and I was so thankful because of the president shutting down the country, almost 4 months. And so we know the testing was so low, of course, but the spread of the COVID was slow in Uganda in the beginning. And of course, time has changed, and in around June, July, we were able to go back to the community, but very small groups meeting in the community, encouraging masks, washing hands, and in fact, even most of our communities were having hand washing in their gates. You couldn't even walk into the home without washing your hands. So this was big. Even now, they're still practicing a lot of this, in the villages where we teach. So I would say that it affected most of us, but a lot of lessons learned. And we hope that any part of the world, and in America, in Uganda, we're all in the same boat, prayers and working hard to change how, when Kibo guys encourages so much of the community. They put on the mask or the drivers in the cars. When they arrive in the community, we used to even Kibo bought some of the masks for the communities as we went there to introduce and show them until they learn how they work. And now they were able to now start buying on their own.
Great. Thanks for that update. And again, kudos to you for leading Kibo Group, leading our efforts in Uganda, ensuring the safety of our staff members. We didn't have any staff members who got sick with COVID. Henry was on the ball with it, and we're really grateful for his leadership and preparation, and then following through with the way that he cared for our staff members and facilitated distributions of food, which some of you helped with. We're grateful for that. So thank you, Henry, for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you mind, for those of us on this call who may not be as familiar with what Kibo actually does in the villages, giving us a brief description of a few of our programs, and we'll start with the WASH program, Water Access, Sanitation, and Hygiene.
The government usually tell Kibo and all of the NGOs, the government tells us, hey, we know this community that is really, really bad. But how bad it is, we can't know. Our WASH program does something called the baseline survey. And this gives us a very good picture of how this community look like. They would even tell us at the end of that, how many latrines we have, how many districts we have, how many bathrooms we have, how many, they just look at every critical of what is near this community. So they start cleaning up this community. They introduce, one of my favorite things that the WASH program does is called triggering. Triggering is literally walking the village through how sickness, some of the basic things, how they can control some of the sickness that they go through the community. We show them, these are the problems you're having. This community have 200 people. You have 15 or sometimes even 0 latrines. No wonder you have a lot of people going to the hospital because of diarrhea. Typhoid is so much in the communities. We have malaria, another basic that is a lot of people suffer from, but sometimes it's even hard to differentiate between typhoid and malaria. Our WASH team goes and say, if we do this, if we dig our latrines, if we wash our hands, we're gonna control a lot of these things in the initially. So we don't have to spend a lot of money in the hospital, but we can use this money somewhere else, take care of our children, get them to school, buy good food or other things. So our team, the WASH team, does they enter the community, but really what they do is clean up the community for us. So give us a good entry. When we go with the rest of our programs, the village is ready for us. The sicknesses have gone down, and eventually some of our villages or WASH works at, they end up getting borehole. That's a big deal for us when the village finally get a borehole, so they don't have to walk 5 miles to get water. And so when they're able to get water closely, the kids are able to go to school on time, the women are able to cook on time. There's a lot of good things have changed. They now can even focus on other things. Then we go to Mvule. This program, is one of my, all Kibo programs are my favorite program, but this program, it is a slow program. Planting a tree that probably someday you're not going to be able to even sit under the shade of that tree, but you're making the community trust that someday our community will be a much better place. And so, but the bigger picture of this, actually, this program is bringing the community together. I remember another village called Kigalama. We went to this village, and there's an old man who has lost his wife, and part of his house was falling apart. But the community that had planted a tree together, Abraham used an illustration of the way we cared for these trees that we planted. Now we can care for one another in this community. And so these people came together, and as they were taking care of the trees, they came to this guy's home and they helped him build part of his house that was falling down. And there's so many stories I can share. But even later on, as this program grows, they keep on taking care of the trees. Eventually, they get goats, and these goats, eventually, some of the families have been invited to a party in 2 weeks from now. The party is a kid who is graduating from the university. The kid has been taught by the goats and the cows that his parents got from Vule, our program. They eventually bought cows, and now they were able to take care of the child in the university to pay for his school fees. And I'm so privileged to be part of that, because that's great. That something that started so small by taking care of trees eventually became a big project that eventually paid some kids' education. Now we're gonna have more educated people in the community because people are investing, people are seeing the importance of doing projects together. Another program is health education. We have Irene now working very closely with women, pregnant women in the community, but also in the general the community, the health. She's now educating them to be aware of certain diseases that comes abruptly sometimes, and even some of the symptoms when they get them, what they should do in their homes. So they're being proactive, and they're also getting better, taking care of themselves in the community. I think doing such a good job with the women, pregnant women, postnatal and prenatal, working with them every day to get them ready, and even buying the mama kit stuff that the women in Uganda have to buy before they have babies in the hospital. Kibo is providing those for them, but she teaches them, and the women in the future, that someday they should be able to take care of or plan and start buying those for their future children. But the health of these women are getting so much better because they're becoming aware of what's available for them, which hospital they should go for very specific diseases. And so the health of the kids are starting better when they're born until when they're young and they grow up. They're growing much better in a very good environment. Ida is, of course, working with the women at the spiritual side, working with the women in the community, challenges that they go through every day, the positive ways and unifying ways of these women, how they're responsible they are for their homes, teaching husbands take care of the women and the respect. We've had a lot of issues in the Basoga region the last few years since I've been in Uganda, where they're you have this organization that fight for the women rights. But one of the issues that we were having mostly is the women now feel so much empowered that they don't respect their husbands or the men in the community. And Ada is going back, no, we can make these things work together. The women should, when women have kids who are growing healthy homes will be homes that women also respect their husbands and the men around, because that's one of the things is it's a cultural belief and requirement in the Basoga region that women have some criteria of things that they must do. But IDA is breaking all of this thing through a community empowerment and program that women were not just married to be slaves, but women were married to be together with their husbands, that they can build their home together, not just cooking and doing everything for their husband, but challenging the man that this is your home. This is not just a women's home, but all of us can work in these homes just to make them become better. So the positive ways of women can look at the empowerment that they've been given, not abusing them, but also the man taking the chance to say, I want to help my wife. I want to go to the borehole and get the water and my wife is cooking. We have communities where I've been told that, Henry, this is how it's been done since I was born. But I say, you have a good education to be able to know that you married this woman from their village, not to come to your village just to work for you, but to become one. And what does become one mean? To make our family become a better home that people can look at and say, I want to be like them. And so we're fighting a lot of challenges with that as men push back. But Ida and Irene and the women in our program are doing a very good job by standing up for the women, and not just standing up, but teaching the men other ways of how they can treat the women much better than, just the challenges that women go through. They're teaching them how to maneuver them in a very, very positive way. But eventually, unifying those homes to be one and working together every day to get better. Another very exciting program is our stoves, health and safe kitchens. This is where most of our Basoga women spend a lot of time. And so we are trying to make this place become a very comfortable place. And Harry is having some good ideas, and we're actually talking to some other group which is in town, and they're going to show us another different way of building these stoves just to make it better. But these stoves have saved women a lot of time. These stoves, that we call them energy saving stove with a reason. First of all, women use less firewood. They go get a bunch of firewood and then they use very few to cook, not like they used to use on the old stove, the old 3-stone stove that most of the villages used to use before we came to this region. So you get a woman who says that I used to go to the forest and get this much wood that would last me for 1 week. Now the same wood can go for 2 or 3 months. They can cook multiple foods at the same time while even still working the garden. So they can do the garden and the food is cooking. When they get back home, the food is ready. There's less smoke for the ice. So the kids are safe. The kids are not getting burned. There's a lot of, the health of the women are now free to have the kitchen. The kids sit with them in the kitchen without fear that they're going to get burned. So The environment is safe. They don't have to spend so much time cooking. They can multitask. They can go to the forest, which is, a long time ago, as I've heard before, that some of the women even used to get raped when they go so much in the forest. That's been cut down. That's going away. But also deforestation. They're taking less, and also, so they're taking less to take them for a longer time, and they don't cut too much trees. So we're doing that at the same time. When Vula is planting, the women are not cutting so much down. So we're very happy about that. The Stoves program has just, I mean, I can say empowered women so much. They're so thankful. And they're saying that now they save a lot of time. They only go to the forest one time in a very long time and takes them for a while. And so we're just looking for more ways that these stoves can even be better, can cook faster right now. We just said, yeah, can we make it bigger? Can we make the hole that goes to the stove a little bit deeper so it can suck the air more in faster and it can cook faster? So we just have to figure out better ways to make this work. Our life skill program. The life skill program has worked with our schools, and we all know now that the schools are closed even in Uganda. People are just trying to get back really slowly. But our life skill program staff have been working with those same communities to make sure that what they're teaching in school, they're also teaching in the community. So the parents, when the kids get home, they talk about these topics together. Communication was, talk about the diseases like HIV/AIDS. They've been discussing some of these things that are affecting homes that people are not just free to talk about. Communication been one of my favorite when I go with the ladies out when they're teaching this topic. I mean, you find areas where when a dad says something, it's final. And the approach has been, how do you say something differently? It gets done. You're not harsh about it, but you're trying just to make your children understand and to you with a lot of respect and not fearing you. And that's been going great. We have parents who are thanking Kibo and the staff. Schools, the head teachers are telling us that the kids have even improved in performance in their classrooms because they're saying that the way our teachers teach is so different from even the government teachers teach. They say our approach is very humble, and the questions we ask make kids even want to be more eager. And so this developing critical thinking in these kids have improved. You know, some of the kids even asking Manuela, what do I do with what should I do in high school? Now they've even started thinking ahead and wondering how they can organize themselves in such a way that they start to think now way beyond where they used to be because of some of they're just being pushed and empowered and being challenged. But these are the topics that we've been covering in this new program. So the behavior, as some of the parents have said, it's changed so much. The head teachers have told us that the P7, the seventh grade case of the behaviors have changed so much. The approach to how even they talk, the teachers have changed, and have both. The kids even have improved their performances in the classroom. So we are so thankful for this program in some of the schools. And guys, I would say that this has so much rumbling, I know, and sorry for rushing so much, but if you come to Uganda, we will show you so much about all these things. If you come and visit us and let this COVID go away, get your shots and soon when you can travel, I see that now we can travel a little bit safe. We can wait when things just come to a little bit normal, so people can come back and see this. I'm telling you guys, Kibo staff, these guys are so excited about what they do that when you join them and go see what they do in this community, when I go with them, I don't want somebody to know that I'm the director. I just want somebody to know that this is Kibo, we're just working here. Because I just want to learn. I just want to be part of them. What they get to hear, what they get to see, what they experience, what they're learning from us is this very humbling. The partnership that Kibo has established in these communities is unbelievable. It's going to grow for years to come. And a lot of generations are going to be affected by all this.
All of that was really good, and I think anyone listening can hear that Henry manages a lot. Uh, there's a lot of different moving parts to Kibo, and he was humble in the way that he was describing his role in that. We're really grateful for his facilitation and the way that he engages each of these programs and the program managers, and just the way that he leads. So Henry, thank you for that. Anything that you want to say to our donors and partners who have been with us over the past 12 months of challenge, both here and abroad?
For all this time, even through the COVID, all our donors, we are so thankful for your prayers, for donations, for everything you do for us to make us be able to go to these communities every day, Monday through Friday, to just go out there and be with them and partner with them, walk along with them, show them something different that they never knew, something they already have. They just don't know how to use it better sometimes. Sometimes they use it, but it's not exactly, the results are different when we show them a different way. And so thank you for making that possible for us. Thank you for the prayers. The relationship you build through your donation, we just hope that you can complete that, to come on the ground and see what you partner with, what you've been with all these years, how long you've been with us. Thank you so much for what you're doing for us.